To answer your question, let me quote a famous scientist, Charles Darwin. Yeah, uh, he said that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent that survive. It is the one that it is most adaptable to change. This is also very similar to the capitalism, to the global capitalism. History shows that capitalism has also experienced, evolution, and there were various corrections to the capitalism. Let me give an example. The seminal works of the greatest economist in the 20th century, John Maynard Keynes, I would call this is perceived as the reform from within, because what he did actually to save capitalism from socialist, communist, and fascist force during the Great Depression era. Yeah, and I think this is one of the the important thing about this capitalism. They allow a correction. Yeah, and if you look at what happened in the 1980s, the pendulum swing to the other side, the neoliberal thinking, Reaganomics, Thatcherism, gave inspiration to the various economic policies in the world. Economic deregulation were everywhere. The role of the governments become very limited. And I recall what the Nobel laureate Milton Friedman said, that government is the problem. People. He modified what Adam Smith said, that people who intend only to serve public interests are led by invisible hand to serve private interests. It was not part of their intention. Yeah, people were worried about the issue of the rent seeking, corruption, etc., including in Indonesia. Uh, we got the experience that government is very bad in picking winner, but losers are very good in picking government. Yeah, because this issue of this corruption, and the pendulum swing to the so-called, let the give more room to the market. But the Asian financial crisis and recently the global financial crisis, gave us a big lesson that there is a room for the government intervention, especially on the regulation on the financial sector. Yeah, I was in the government. We had to deal with the global financial crisis at that time. We learned that somehow we have to regulate this financial sector. And look at the pandemic problem now, the COVID-19. If you look at the theme of the fiscal stimulus all over the world, is do whatever it takes. Almost every country in the world now doing the so-called the fiscal stimulus, providing the social protection to the people, to help the small medium enterprise. So it really changed if you look at the the perspective from the perspective of these 1980s, probably will be, we call it the end of this, the so-called the neoliberal. Yeah, let me share with you how do I see the role of this ideology here, yeah, in this pendulum. Let me take the experience of Indonesia during the 70s. There were a lot of government intervention at that time. The reason behind it was very simple, because Indonesia at that time, as an oil exporter country, we had money. So there was a room for the government intervention in many aspects, in many sectors, because we could afford to do it. In the mid 80s, the oil price collapsed. The same government who introduced that many government intervention started to begin with the idea of economic deregulation. Yeah, so to me, the ideology play a role as an effect rather than cause here. Yeah, because we don't have money, then we become very pragmatic. We move to the market, not because the ideological reason. Yeah, so this is the way I look at the situation. And then if we look at the very recent situation, yeah, for example, people also respond. We are talking about, for example, about the globalization. But recently, we realized that the emergence of identity politics, maybe because the impact of this globalization, inequality, the sentiment of anti-immigrants, for example, yeah, and then economists try to sort of like to improve the situation, make a correction by providing a critics. So one article that I remember very much is there is an article by Daniel Roderick, and the title is "How to Save Globalization from Its Cheerleaders." Yeah, the way I look at this an article is reform from within. How to save the capitalism? Yeah, um, but the question is maybe a couple of years from now, people will start to question also the role of the government. If the government intervene too much, then there will be a reaction from the people. Let me give an example about the disruption of the technology. How do we put the role of government in the situation of this disruption? Because the digital technology, the product cycle is getting shorter and shorter. There is no way that the government could introduce the regulation because 6 months after that your regulation is gonna be obsolete. So the ideal solution for this is we should have the agile bureaucracy, but there is no way government or bureaucracy can be agile bureaucracy is an oxymoron. There is no way bureaucracy can be agile. So probably we have to change the mindset from agree on rules to agree on principle. So this is just to show an example, how dynamic the situation. Maybe at this moment the role of the government become very crucial, but I don't know, 15 years from now, people will start to question if the government intervene too much.